their influencers, if you could say it that way, their resemblance, their image and likeness. And then, of course, these both were cast alive. So the beast would live into a limni pyre, burning with brimstone, not a literal fire. In the Hebrew of the book of Revelations, it tells us that this is, we got to give them back their desires.
Mm-hmm.
Give it back to them. And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth, the sword of truth. That's what you and I have to use to take the heads of the fake gods and false Christ, which is the next series. And then, of course, Revelations 20, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night. Their torment is when you don't want to worship them anymore.
Okay.
Oh, Canaanites can't handle that. You call them the devil? Man, never. You tell them they're not pretty, that their woman is fugly dugly. Oh my goodness. If you tell them that they got no butt, flat butt, no pretty, ugly, pale, leprous dog fur, oh my, you say those words and they get offended.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It crushes them. When you say you don't want their food no more, it crushes them. When you say Brad Pitt ain't handsome, when you recognize this man say he don't bathe, when you well, he did. That's a bunch of them saying it. When you say that, when you recognize that potato salad is nasty,
Mm-hmm.
when you recognize that having a white tongue means you don't season your food, that's having white tongue.
Oh,
When you
okay.
say that that's nasty, when you say not cleaning the meat before you cook it is nasty, when you say not washing your feet when you're bathing is nasty, when they tell you stuff like washing your hair, it destroys the oils, and you look at them like, I hear you, man. When you can do that,
Mm-hmm.
it destroys them. But we got to have the audacity to speak that truth. And that's going to torment them. When you say you don't want their system no more, we just don't want it. We ain't saying destroy it. We're just saying we don't want it. No, thank you. We don't want your pornography. We don't want your false television shows over. No, we just don't want it. We're not interested. Not interested in your dress code. I'll take my kufa. Thank you very much. I'll take nobility. Thank you very much. We prefer regalness. Thank you very much. We don't want the hooch or the Negro or the thug or the thought. No, thank you. We just, no, thank you. We're not saying you can't have it. We just saying we don't want it.
That's right.
Please continue, my sister.
That's right, Nasash. Okay, so I'll go and do more research on that question, but the added answers. My next question is coming from, I have some issues with some dates here, Basash, and I don't know if it's based on movies or whatever, but when it says modern slavery began in the 15th century, right? And we had the Anglo-Ashanti's War, the third war which they won, and the Anglo-Zulu Wars, right? They birthed that at 1873 to 1877, and that win came from them having the Gatling gun, right? My question is, why is the invasion, why would they have to go back to fight the Ashantis and the Zulus when the slavery started in the 15th century? Where were they getting these slaves from if they didn't enter into Africa itself?
Hey,
And how were they able to accomplish that and put it to history?
when you look at, there's two slave trades as far as Europe is concerned. Europe mentions the 1400s and the 1600s.
Right.
One, Sir John Hawkins, that's the 1600s,
Mm-hmm.
and Prince Henry, the Navigator. These are the two slave trades that Europeans, as far as them is concerned, the Arabs got their own, and the East Indians, and the Chinese, and the Japanese, and the Koreans,
Right.
and the Iranians. But these two groups of European slave trade, 1400s. And these were to the coastal regions, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So they went around the coastal regions and kidnapped people who lived along the coast.
Mm-hmm.
Understood?
Yes.
And the Portuguese were the first to do this,
Right.
taking people to Brazil, to South America, the largest slave plantation at the time, one of the largest to this date. That's what it's talking about. So they didn't enter into the hinterlands by the time John Hawkins, 1600, and John Hawkins was a what, everyone? Where was he from?
I don't know. Mm-hmm.
Say it again.
England.
England. Mm-hmm. And he was born to a prominent family of shipbuilders. You understand? Why is England important?
Because I guess they gave birth to the Americas.
No, because England had the greatest European naval fleet at the time, where they get the term "the sun never sets on the British Empire." England had a naval fleet. Why would a naval fleet, why would having the most powerful European naval fleet at the time be important to the slave trade?
Because they would have to transport the slaves, wouldn't
Because
they?
you have to transport those slaves as cargo. And while transporting those slaves as cargo on cargo ships, what would you have to, because this was a commodity. Unfortunately, our bodies have always been seen by them as a commodity to be bought and sold and bastardized, and they call it a trade. What if you were at the seas would you be fearful of?
Pirates.
Pirates. So you would need a military vessels to accompany the ships to make sure they would. We're doing this now. The U.S. military is, what are they doing right now? Anybody knows?
Well, they're removing some people from DC.
Make sure Israel don't get attacked.
The U.S. military patrolling DC.
No, patrolling. We're talking about water. Stay with me, please. Patrol. Y'all went to DC. We're in the seas, y'all. Come on, we're on boats in the seas. Y'all in DC, patrolling water in the Horn of Africa.
Okay.
Okay. She said DC. Whoa. We're talking about rivers and seas and oceans, y'all. Work with me.
Okay.
Protecting shipping vessels, cargo vessels. The U.S. military is protecting, the British military is protecting cargo vessels because the cargo was being interrupted. This was the same thing. So when you study it to say what was the difference, first they were kidnapping people who lived along the coastal areas. Then they began to go into what they call the Congo. And they had a slave trade called the Congolese slave trade. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Can you tell us what it was about, please?
No, I'm talking about the fact that I know there was a Congolese slave trade. I've never looked at it, Basash.
Okay, because you said you were researching, so I thought you
We
went
didn't
there.
reach
My
all
fault.
the way there.
As early as 1526, which would be the
Oh,
16th century, Congo's King Alfonso I wrote to Portugal concerning the slave trade had devastated his kingdom and calling for the Portuguese to cease the practice. But the transatlantic slave trade only intensified this transformed slavery within Congo too. So how Portuguese slave traders changed Ethiopia and Congo. I pray we're clear. When you're researching it, just follow those two lines. Prince Henry the Navigator, they called him, and Sir John Hawkins, they called him, and follow the line. John Hawkins was from a prominent European family of boat or ship builders. Okay.
Okay. So my next question, well, I had to get that part out because now we have to go to in Genesis and Exodus, where they spoke about the 400 years bondage of the Israelites. Right? When they spoke about that, which is like in the beginning of the Old Testament.
Let's give the passage, please. Genesis chapter 15, please. Because we're a teaching church, and if there's newcomers here, we need to, let's put Genesis, let's put it in front of people, right? Because we must make sure that the truth is understood clearly. So anytime we're referencing in this forum, in this teaching church, we give passage, we give chapter, we give verse. Genesis chapter 15, verse 16, speaking to Baba Abraham, for those who follow the Bible's line of thinking. But in the fourth generation, they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet filled. And it talks about it further on, or further back, that they would be a seed in verse 15, chapter 15, verse 13, that they would be strangers in the land not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. That's not only the kidnapping of melanated people, but that's the invasion and subsequent decolonizing or recolonizing or subjugation of the African and Caribbean nations as well. All right, please continue.
Okay, so
you said Exodus chapter what?
Exodus chapter 1, verse 1.
Look at that as well, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now go ahead with the question.
Right. The question was asked, if the Exodus took place, with the Israelites coming out of Egypt, why is it referenced now as with slavery, with this modern day slavery? Why is it still referenced when it happened in Exodus, Genesis?
In Exodus, we're told how long were the Israelites occupied or enslaved according to the book of Exodus.
Okay, let me finish the question they asked. And it's not referenced in the Bible after that as a group of people collectively being enslaved again, yet we're doing it in modern slavery, referencing that same 400.
You lost me on the last one.
Okay. The question was asked, if the 400 years slavery took place between Genesis to Exodus, and after Exodus,
no, but where does it say that it took place between Genesis and Exodus?
When it's mentioned between Genesis and Exodus, when they came out of the land of Egypt.
Right, but it doesn't say 400 years. In Exodus chapter 12, verse 40, it says they were occupied for 430 years. That's a different slave trade.
Oh.
Can we go to that's why I said you lost me, right? Can we go to Exodus chapter 12, please? Again, notice for all the student teachers, are we using my feelings, my opinions, what I believe, what I think, or are we going and referencing in real time so all can see?
In real time so all can see.
Exodus chapter 12. Thank you, Sister Carr. Exodus chapter 12, verse 40. Can you read this for us, Sister Venus, please?
Exodus 12:40. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelled in Egypt was 430 years.
So now this children of Israel, is it that these are the only Israelites? Or is this the group of Ishmael and Israel who were subjugated in Egypt?
This was
Let's
the
read it
group.
again.
Subjugation.
Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt, was this the only place we were at? Or was this group a group that was subjugated?
It was only that group that was subjugated in
Because the
Egypt.
Ptolemies came in, the
Right.
Macedonians came in, the Hyksos came in, the Hannibal came in. The Ishmaeli, the Ismaili, the Mitanni came in. The 11 plus 1 clan sons of Canaan, under the guise of their different aliases, came in and occupied. And they were there 100 plus years, and then their influence lasted how many years?
430 years.
So and it uses the word sojourning, Mosab. Mosab, do y'all see it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The sojourning was habitation, dwellings. The invaders lived there, dwelled there, and inhabited there, and assembled there. A sitting company. What's a company, y'all?
Military
A
troop.
military group.
Military group. They dwelled there, troglodytes, cave dwellers. They dwelled, and for 100 and something years, the Hyksos ruled, and their influence was up to 430 years. This is not the prophecy of Genesis 15. Genesis 15 with Baba Abraham verses 13 through verse 15 is talking about 400 years. And we know this because Genesis tells you who's going to enslave this group of people. What name did it use? Huh?
Jebusites.
Use the Amorites.
The Amorites. But in the 4th generation, they shall come hither again for the iniquity, ion, wickedness, lawlessness, debauchery, sickness, the iniquity, ion in Hebrew for my Israelite brothers and sisters. Li'annahu for my Islamic brothers and sisters. Anomia for my Christian brothers and sisters. Iniquity, mischief, depravity. So whoever's going to enslave this group of people will be depraved. Now, this can't be talking about the melanated people of the land miscalled Egypt today, because if they were depraved, why would God send his only begotten son down there?
Right.
You want to protect your son and you're going to send him to LA? You want to protect your son and you send him to New York City?
No.
To the village?
No.
You want to protect your son and you send them to London? To the most depraved places? No. So this land of Mitzrayim that had been occupied according to the book of Yeshua, one of Yeshua's books called Yeshua or Ishayu or Shayu or Yeshua, Isaiah, chapter 19, talks about the spirit of perversion, depravity, perversity. The perversity, the depravity, the iniquity, the guilty, the conditions of that they bring, the moral evil, right here, moral evil. And then it tells you of which people, of the Amorites, one of the children of Canaan, the 4th son, according to Genesis chapter 10. So when you talk to the Israelites, I always ask them, as my teacher taught me when I was 12 years old, a long time ago now, he said, how can you read this and keep saying these were Africans enslaving Africans? No, because it says the iniquity of the Amorite. And the Amorite are the people of Canaan. These are Canaanites who had dispossessed the Canaanites, mountainer, Immori, war, Canaanitish tribes. The Canaanites, which according to Jusinius, which according to the Key Study Bible, which according to the Ryrie Study Bible, which according to the New International Version, Nelson Publication, which according to what's the other one? The one where we get the table of contents from. The one that's
Zondervan Key Study.
Zondervan. Y'all gotta know this. Which
Yes.
according to this, that these Canaanites are white people. White people are saying the Canaanites were white. So this is talking about the chattel slave trade of melanated people.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all understand?
Yes.
And they used Amorite because the 1600 slave trade was begun by who? I just
By
gave it to
England.
y'all.
Hawkins.
Who? What's the
Hawkins.
name? What's the John
Oh.
Hawkins?
Hawkins.
English.
Yes. And if we go to
Yes.
Genesis, the African book of Genesis, Bereshit, to the 10th scroll, and we go down to the son called Amorite, which if you have your original books of the Bible, please tell me you do.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
And we're going to look at the fourth son. And this is on page 152, please.
Okay.
On page 152. Dr. Tucker, may you read for us page 152 of the African book of Genesis,
Yes,
verse
sir.
87,
87.
please.
Bismil Rab el Kaliko el Kareem. Verse 87. And then Labana Canon's fourth wife, Hitara, a direct descendant of the Adam son of Europa of 8,400 years ago, known as the Halabian Flugelarod, gave birth to a fourth son called Amor. And Amor and his wives.
No, wait, give us the meaning of this one now. Loveless
Amor.
and heartless.
Mountain dweller.
Mountain.
All right, go ahead.
Verse 88. And Amor and his wives, Kenat and Dinat, are progenitors of the Amorites, a melanin recessive people with white hair and white eyes, who shall come to be known as Indo-Aryans, and their progeny, the Brits.
Stop. The Brits. People in the UK, who the Brits? Finish the phrase.
British.
British, Breton, Anglo-Saxons, French, Germans, Dutch, Spaniards, and Euro-Americans of the latter day. Are we clear?
It's clear.
That is clear.
So when the
Very
question's asked to you again, Sister Venus,
Mhm.
take them and show them that the slavery of the 400 years is being performed by the Amorites.
Right.
The invasion into melanin land and in what they're miscalling Egypt, which we know to be the land of Mitzrayim, that was done by the Ptolemy or by the Macedonians who become Ptolemies into that one region. But the enslavement of today, that prophecy of Baba Abraham, is of 400 years. And there's a difference between not just 400 and 430, that's a difference in number, but 400 occupied by Macedonian Ptolemy, Aegyptos, versus enslaved by Amorites.
Right.
And this is where our Israelite brothers and sisters are wrong. I know they're going to hate to hear that. Nobody wants to be told they're wrong, but I'm picking a fight with ignorance. So if what you're saying is ignoring reality, I'm going to tell you you're wrong.
Amen.
So it's wrong.
That's right.
Okay.
It's wrong. It says Amorite. The Amorites are Europeans. So that slave trade is not Africans enslaving Israelites. That's the people once you say the word Aegyptos, you're admitting that that's European Greeks who've invaded, because you use the word Aegyptos. Is everybody with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
These and those people are the people of Genesis chapter 10, verse 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the people of Javan, the Ionians.
Right.
This is a teaching church. This is a teaching kanisa. This is a teaching synagogue. This is a teaching masjid. This is a teaching mosque. This is a teaching temple. So when we teach, we go to the language. So if you're going to come to debate or to learn, you take your choice. If you come to debate, you're going to lose. But we welcome it. All right, please. Anyone, please continue, my sister.
Okay,
Amen.
so Basesh, we have the slave now the reason I'm asking is to make sure that what they put in, remember you said that they put anything they want in the books and say that is history. So I just want to make sure that I'm clear too. Yes? Because they didn't teach us that in the Caribbean. Okay? So
what's the that? They didn't teach us that. What's the that?
In our history books and stuff, it's
in the history books of Trinidad and Tobago.
yes,
Right,
which is
you saying
basically the
Caribbeans,
social study, which is
right, but you said
basically
the
social studies.
Caribbeans. There's
They sort
people
of
in
make it sound
Bahamas that might
sexy.
disagree. All right, go ahead.
They just make it sound very sexy to be a slave. Okay,
Go
so
ahead.
my question is, the first set of slaves to arrive in America would have been what we would call in this instant, what I'm thinking, prisoners of war, because it was
North
a war.
America or South America?
Oh, no, America. They would not be considered prisoners of war?
No, they would be
Or was-
considered people. They would be considered people who were kidnapped. They
Okay.
kidnapped people. There was no war. We didn't start a fight with nobody.
Right.
There can't be a one-sided war. You just can't wake up and say I'm declaring war on you and then say we're in war. No, they
Oh, no,
went
because you heard, because of the concept of the Ashanti and the Anglos War.
in. And what year was that?
So this is
What year was that?
this would have been the 1873 to the 1877.
Right. So that's the 1900s. That's not the war.
Right.
We're talking 1400s. By the
Okay.
time you get to the Anglo-Ashanti wars, that's us. Now, yeah, now we fighting back. We have no choice.
Okay.
So that's 1400 to 1800. That's 400 years of them kidnapping our people. And then they get mad when we got tired of it and organized and started pushing back. How dare you fight back? Okay. But the initial 1400 and 1600 was kidnapping people. They call it slavery. It was kidnapping. It's a crime, but they're smart enough not to say that, because if you ever went to the international court and said as a people we were kidnapped, that's a crime on the books.
Right.
Okay.
They're very smart. They use the word slave. No, kidnap. We were kidnapped. We didn't. That's why they say today voluntary. What my man, the scientist in Florida said, involuntary migration.
Mm-hmm.
to learn skills, which we already had, right? You didn't kidnap us to give us skills. We had the skills. That's why you kidnapped us. Anyway, I pray we're clear.
Yes, we are. Namaste, Basesh.
Namaste, my sister. Right? You mean the fear, namaste, Umi.
Namaste. My questions are coming from part 3A.
Part 3A, yes, Umi?
Yes.
And that was, you said part 3A?
Yes. Who cast the
Okay.
spell of sleep using the scriptures?
That's correct. Okay.
Okay. When was the spell cast? That was like, what, 8,000 years ago?
Okay. The spell of Leviathan. Who's Leviathan? Let's see if we remember anyone. When we say Leviathan, who are we talking about?
The dragon.
So
Fallen
the
angel.
dragon race.
Fallen.
When was that spell cast? When did these humanoid reptilians descend to Earth and work to take the inhabitants of Earth at that time and breed in? See what happens is the way the Bible redactors. And when you redact something, you remove stuff. You know, when you want to hide stuff, you can redact it. You can put black lines through it in court records so I can't tell who did what. The way they write it, they just say war in heaven, but they don't give us a date. There was war in heaven, no date. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon fought and his angels, and they prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. This was that old devil called the dragon and Satan that deceiveth. He was cast to the earth, him and his angels, and yada, yada, but no date. Cast to the earth. How did he get here? We think cast, right? So God took him as a big fireball and just baseball throw. Football, God was a quarterback. He was checking off and he made this throw and threw Satan across because that's the image in the mind. To see this angel pitchfork and he's flying through space. Oh, and they did it to us in the Superman movie, because in the Superman movie in the beginning, Jor-El and them, they're putting some guys on a trial, the old Superman, and they put them in a mirror and then the mirror busts. And y'all know what I'm talking about? And they end up on Earth.
Yes, sir.
Superman got to fight these beings that were super strong just like him. So he's the Jesus savior of Earth, and he's going to fight the fallen angels from his planet. Whenever you think fallen angels, we think in that way. But it didn't happen like that. It happened over time. Now, when they were cast to Earth, to your question, the dragon race, they were cast here when? Anybody?
17 million.
17,250,000 years ago. So the spell of Leviathan, and I'm so happy you asked this question on me. I want us to get our pens and papers out, please. You should already have them out, your notebooks and things of that nature. And y'all let me know when you're ready, please.
I'm ready.
All right. Different spells cast by devil's seed. That's what I want to call this, and we'll do a series on it so y'all can get a better understanding. There is the spell of Leviathan. Spell of Leviathan. What is a spell? A hex. An incantation.
Incantation.
A hex or incantation of Leviathan. This spell focused on what? We say Leviathan is a what type of spell?
Sex, spirit, force.
Blood, sex, spirit, force.
Blood and sex. Spirit force.
Yeah.
Generated by the waters of earth.
Mm-hmm.
Which, don't say which subsist, write it down. Of the blood. If I'm typing it, at least y'all can do is write it.
Yes, sir.
Of the innocent. So there's a few things that this Leviathan, these serpentine beings, there's a few things that they're bringing into the equation. One, blood and sex. It's going to incantate, form, or put a hex on the original people who were around 17,250,000 years ago. Now, who was around 17 million? Which group of melanin people were around 17,250,000 years ago? Nunat. If we go to the better sheath, Umi, are you with me so far?
Yes, I am.
If we go to the better sheath, the African book of Genesis, in the commentary in the beginning of the African book of Genesis, if we go on page 8, number 3, 17,250,000 years ago, the first families of the Tamare and Adama do begin to govern and work for survival on the surface of tarred earth during different ages. The first meteorite shower of their generation occurs as the Tamare and Adama, the first gene Isis, are birthed, grown, and walking on dry land. This is the oldest cosmological and theological records called Ankh, based on the Dendera, is recorded and adhered to by Melaninite hands as these great and primordial matriarchal societies thrive. They are namely Nun and Nunet, who are beings, melanated beings who came from underwater domes and lagoons to now walk on dry land. Are y'all still with us?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Original books of the Bible, Papyrus 1, page 168. Verse 110. And so it was. Can somebody tell me what book this is?
The book of the processes of evolution.
And so it was. Thank you, Dr. Tucker. Those of that generation were eventually destroyed by the meteorite showers of 17,250,000 years ago. Nun and Nunet's people survived, which led to continental drifting. So when they talk about there was one big landmass called Pangaea or Pangaea, which we call Tememtu or Taweret or Tiawawet. It broke or tarred into pieces, continental drifting, by which the massive primordial mound, Taweret tarred, a landmass called Terra, broke over a period of time into 7 continents. Are y'all with me so far?
Yes.
If we go to the book of the Tamare and Adama, may we please go there?
Yes.
The book of the Tamare and Adama.
Yes, sir.
And this Tamare and the African Adam. What page does it begin on?
It's 202.
212.
Oh, 212.
212. And in this book, it mentions something. Let's go to 212. What events happened with Nun and Nunet? So we can understand this Leviathan begins a spell focusing on the descendants of Nun and Nunet, an original humanoid gene. They focused on trying to corrupt, usurp, and control so they could breed with this group of people. Are y'all with me?
Yes, Pastor.
Yes.
And so they began to abduct. This is your Genesis, and it's happened many times. The sons of God taking these reptilian beings. This is your Swamp Thing, and they always show you the Swamp Thing kidnapping the woman, and the people giving a woman over to keep. The Dogon talked about it. They called them Namos, a benevolent group. The Nubians called it Malaikat Bahari, the river angels. But then, and the people of Nigeria amongst the Yoruba called them Ilikbari, but they weren't wicked. That was the benevolent reptilians, but there was a malevolent group that came down 17,250,000 years ago.
Okay.
And they entered. At that point, I'm scrolling to get to it so we can shorten the conversation as far as here, and I can get back to you, Umi. But this Tamare and Adama, which we'll call human, right? They get to the Nun and Nunet. And that's on page 226, verse 130. 35. And so it was amongst our Tamarean children, the heads of but a few of these Adama, who came many generations before, known as Atum, were Nunet and Nun. Very important. Nunet and Nun. This Nunet and this Nun, very important. They don't want us to talk about it, but this Nunet and Nun, something happened that they eventually lost the right to rule. And were replaced. And that begins on page 200. Pardon me. 230. Went too far. Sorry. Over time, these people were replaced. Oh, I went past Atum. Too far. And out of them, another group would be born, Geb and Nut. So these Leviathanians, what did they bring? They brought in sex out of due time.
Okay.
Sex out of due time. They introduced lust. When it says sex, not that people weren't procreating, but they introduced what into the equation?
Lust.
Lust. They introduced lust. See, in page 217, verse 51, be not of those who are stingy, nor of those who teach others to be stingy, but instead be of those who realize that at that time, the Adama group of Homo sapien, known as Atum, were the first of their generation who were endowed with the ability to procreate progeny after their own kind, utilizing organic sex. So this man is going to come and corrupt organic or natural sexual union.
Yes.
Are you with me, Umi?
Yes, I am.
And he's going to introduce his inorganic. What's inorganic sex today?
The base sex, unnatural sex.
Sex toys. It's inorganic matter. Sex toys. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's a simple one. That was a layup. Everybody's supposed to just lay the ball up and catch the football and kick it. That was an open net goal. Inorganic sex.
Okay.
Sex toys. Lust. He introduced lust. Lust, inorganic. That's why we call it natural sexual union. It uses nature, organic matter. I hope I didn't lose nobody. All right, so that's the first phase of the spell. He came in and interrupted, introducing lust and lack of sexual discipline. Introduce war, jealousy, because the scripture says in the Qur'an, the African Quran, will you create one that will cause mischief? When we looked it up earlier, one of the words for the beast was mischief. If y'all remember.
Yeah.
Leviathan is a blood and sex spirit force. He is a blood and sex spirit force. Now, we want to know where this happens. When we go to the book of the Journeys of the Crystal City. Can someone tell me the page, please? Sister Leah, I see your question. This is for you. And then Umi, I'm coming right back to you.
Sure. 88. Page 88. Page 88.
Thank you. The book of the Journey of the Crystal City. So they're coming from Ilion, looking for some resources to save our world, the heaven of heavens, and there's a crash that takes place, and yada, 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 right? That's the New York, right? Yada, 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 right? That's all the stuff that's happening in between. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, they crashed into Maldek. They moved past the the heavens of this constellation. Beings are living in some of these worlds that, like today, man is trying to repopulate these places that were once populated. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And they have wars that's happening in the heavens. And the great crystal city, the Manjet, the crash of 24 billion years ago, this is all happening. Page 8 of the papyrus, number 2, 24 billion years ago, first contact, right? A big crash takes place, yes?
Yes.
Right? So all of this is happening here. And this blood and sex spirit force called Leviathan is going to come to play when we leave that book. What's the next book called, everyone?
Origin
Book of the
Earth's
origins
moon.
of the moon. Because
Yeah.
that was a part of the breaking off.
Yes.
It broke off to give birth to the moon as it looks today. Something hit it and split it into out of the Grand Canyon, broke it away to formulate. And then these beings come down. We know this because it gives us the chronicles of Luna. And he's attempting to destroy it. He's living here at the time. Okay, well, I'm just shortening it. When we finish that book, what's the next book called? Book of the birth of the universe. Yes?
Birth and growth of this universe. Yes, sir.
We move through this book. 24 billion years ago, the next one, the book of life forms. This is going to give us the life forms and what took place. The very 24 billion. What page is that again?
131.
131.
131. Right? It gives us the life forms. And it starts to tell us of these different life forms that are going to evolve or develop on Earth alongside of certain species of angels, both good and bad, that had come down to Earth. When they come in there, the first group we mentioned are the Natural Elohim. That's how did they get here? That's going to talk about it on page 138 of Papyrus 1, verse 35. How did the Natural Elohim, what's our origin? Boom, that's there. The next section, it talks about the worlds we inhabited and how we got it. Then it talks about how we transported the amoeba and green plant life. That's page 140. Then there's parasitic plants that also came here. That's found in Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 21. Then there's carnivorous plants, Genesis 2:5, how they got here. Yes? Then there's the original Tardinig and how they got here in and around that same 24 billion years. All of this is happening simultaneously. Then it goes further. It talks about herbivores and carnivores, page 144. How'd they get here? How they got seated here? See, the Bible just says it was on the day one, they made like the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. You follow? On Genesis chapter 1, on the first day. It's the same story. First day of Christmas, the 12, what's it called? The 7 pipers leaping and all that craziness. That's what they're forcing into the mind. But here in the original books of the Bible, it walks you through, and it's going to come down to the 17 million years ago. I'm just showing you it, so as you read it, then you all will come with questions from it when we do just open scriptural question and answers. Right? Today we're in a series, but we go down further. I'm just scrolling through it with you so we can get to the 17,250,000 years ago. This blood and sex spirit force, 17,250,000 years ago. And that's in the book of the story of Lucifer. These serpent beings. And that's on page 171. Ye that will escape mental enslavement must now remember that in time, Sister Leah, in and around 17,250,000 years ago, another group of wise serpents did come to crash down in the waters, which you refer to, Umi, as the Atlantic Ocean. Are y'all with me?
Yes.
Yet there is kept sacred within the angelic mysteries that this event This event, I'm going to bring it up on the screen now. This event, what event? Was in fact the fall of Leviathan. Okay. So when this crash took place of one of the Ninga fleet of Meldeck, that's how the reptilian comes down and begins a blood and sex spell. To tar earth, this Leviathan brought with it destruction and death. This fall of Leviathan to tar earth and the advent of the death-dealing gases of impure, dissipating ether was much like what, everyone?
Fallout.
Insofar as it saturated all which grew with its poisons and permeated the atmosphere, the waters and vegetation, with all living beings on tar earth had to breathe, drink, or eat. So this beast man, even down through to today, understood that if he poisoned your water, your air, and your food, he could alter you to become him. It goes on. And by this event, the original creations and original growths on tar earth were modified and altered to the point where things began to grow bigger in size and lighter in complexion. Hear and understand, all you inhabitants of tar earth, because these draconians, they're going to want to breed what they want to breed, because some of them were albino serpentine, like Kardashian dressed up as. I don't know if y'all saw when she dressed up as a snake. Yes, y'all seen it? No? Maybe?
Yes.
No.
I used to that.
Okay.
Okay? This is what they look like. We think this is play. They know who they are. Okay, let's continue. So there was albinos even amongst them. They wanted to make Honorable Elijah Muhammad said they wanted to make a weak and wicked strain that they could manipulate and control. We're going to get to that beast in a minute. Hear and understand, O you inhabitants, because we know the Leviathan has a project to bleach everything on earth. It's called racism, white supremacy, to make everything white.
Yes.
Some of these wise serpent beings eventually came to set up their homes beneath the seas of what is called Bimini, near the Bahamas today, at the center of the Bermuda Triangle, where they still in your latter day have a great reptilian empire. So they went to that area. These Leviathanians have been living here since 17,250,000 years ago and have been manipulating many amongst humanity. Are we clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now we go down to page 173, verse 172. Protect humanity's very beings, O Most High Heavenly One, for one such group of celestial beings called troglodytes, who the Bible calls Horites, according to Genesis chapter 14, verse 6, and Genesis chapter 36, verse 20. The troglodytes, also known as Meldekians, what did they begin to do? Blood and sex, spirit force. Abduct. So when we say they cast a spell of blood and sex, by abducting, kidnapping, and raping, they gave birth to children, which Genesis 6 says became giants or Nephilims, Zazumims, Raphaims, Imims, Nakites. And they interbred their genetics with certain species of proto-mammalian humanoids, whereby they, through their respective processes of evolution, developed into a branch of intelligently malicious humanoids. So now that they have humanoid-looking reptilians, these people are now sleeping with human beings, proto-humans, and convincing them that lust, pleasure over purpose is best. This is where you get the notion and eventual setting up of your Nods, of your Sodom, of your Gomorrahs, of your New York, of your Philadelphia, of your Londons. Without any doubt, it was from the interference done by these Meldekians that certain branches of reptilian like dinosaurs did evolve. Are you there,
Yes,
Umi?
we are. Yes, sir.
Are you there, Sister Leah?
Yes.
That's passage.
And it tells us these were the final events of the first stages of secondary and evolutionary growth. Because we know there's original creation, primary creation, done by pure living ether. That's your family line, pure melaninite, purple, blue, black people. Then 17,250,000 years ago began the fall of Leviathan, began on Earth secondary creation. All of these events are the final events of those first stages of what they're calling evolution of them, de-evolution of you and I, devolving. And then they began to interfere with the species of Homo erectus, kidnapping these primitive humanoids and breeding a race of wicked reptilian-like beings. Are y'all with me?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
passage.
Okay. Now this dragon race is mentioned in page 175, verse 200. These dragon reptilians, which are called the chambers of the south in Job, they came down and they began to abduct and breed and gave birth to humanoid reptilians, which I've been teaching you all about. The Java man is in this group. Neanderthal man, Cro-Magnon, or who you call the Greeks. And these other beings that were being bred. Are y'all with us?
Yes, passage.
Right. So this blood, let's get back, and I'm gonna go back with you, Umi. So this blood and sex spirit force, they were manipulating through war, through rape. That's why the book of John says that these chosen children are not those born of blood. They're not born of rape. They're not born of Leviathan. They're not born of lust. John chapter 1, verse 13. These are those born not of blood, nor of lust, nor of the will of man. Because if you're born of blood and lust or the will of man, Leviathan is interfering. And that's what you and I are children of and have to push back. So that's the first spell, Umi. The spell of blood and sex, called Leviathan. Then in the old records, there's another spell. The spell done by one called Humbaba. Have y'all heard that name before?
Yes, passage.
Yes.
Humbaba. So have y'all heard that name before?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Who is this Humbaba? Can we go to the book of the story of Lucifer, please?
Yes.
Sir.
What page? Umi, should I stop
88.
and let you question?
68.
Oh, no, continue.
That's right.
Continue, okay. What page is it? Someone said, I'm sorry.
68.
5-8.
6,
6,
8.
8.
68.
6-8. Okay, sorry.
Mhm.
The story of Lucifer. This is happening in this constellation that you and I are in. This heaven with this story of Lucifer is happening in this star system that we are in right now with its 9 planets. This fall of this group of cherubim, shape-shifting reptilian humanoid. That's how you know it's happening here, because they're dealing with human beings. They look humanoid. You see, the members of Baluchis, verse 10, actual humanoid seed, who we, the guardian angelic host, refer to as mankind, or a kind of man do destroy nature, spread wrong racial hatred under the banner of conservatism, and do lie concerning the righteous amongst humanity. So this portion of the spell is focused on what? Highlight it.
We're not sure.
Okay, sorry. Focused on what? It's coming up. I'm sorry. I thought y'all could see. Destroying nature and spreading wrong racial hatred. This is the spell of who? The book of the story of Lucifer. We didn't get to Humbaba yet. This is the book of the story of who?
Lucifer.
Who's also called what?
Balos.
Balos, and also known in the Bible as what? Halal. On screen. Y'all don't see it?
Yes, Halal.
Where do they call him Halal? Isaiah 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen, O Lucifer? But the word Lucifer is a Latin word meaning light bearer. The word Lucifer is not there in Isaiah 14:12. The word Lucifer is not there in Isaiah 14:12. They put it there in the English, but when you get to Lucifer, what do you see?
Halal.
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 Halal. His name is Halal. From the word 19, halal, glory, praise, boastful, pride, arrogant, rage, foolish.
Yes.
Are y'all seeing it?
Yes,
Yes.
So this portion of the fall is being done by Halal, who's called Lucifer in Isaiah 14, the Latin word light bearer. And he's going to bring in what?
Self-indulgence.
Self-indulgence.
Arrogancy
Arrogance.
conceited.
And conceit. Are y'all writing this down? Because I'm about to go back over there. And he's focusing on destroying nature and the spread of wrong racial hatred. So let's go over there. Each of these names of the devil is a person. This spell is the spell, and it's not in order. I'm just giving you the names. This spell is the spell of who?
Humbaba.
Halal, also Lucifer.
Lucifer.
And his spell is focused on what? Self-indulgence, arrogance, conceit, and what did he want to do?
Destroy nature.
Destroy nature.
And
racial
hatred.
Okay, to destroy nature and spread what?
Wrong
racial
Hatred.
Racial hatred. That's the portion of this family line. These are all the devil, but there's a different family line, and through time, they're each working to do certain things. Are y'all with us?
Yes.
Okay. Then this same spell, as we go down, Lucifer became two-faced, hypocritical, and treacherous, wherein the inner evil which possessed him eventually evolved to where it manifested itself visibly by way of countless debates and willful acts of disagreeableness, which he not only encouraged, but also engaged in. All right, let's add that to his little piece. Again, I'm just touching on it tonight. We'll have a series on it at some point. But just make sure we add it to the piece so everybody's clear. We haven't gotten to Humbaba yet. We're going to go back to come forward. Somebody can get me the chapter, please, while we're here with Humbaba's name. I want to find his name because then we know we're talking about Humbaba. This is why the original books of the Bible is necessary.
Page 69, verse
Because
19.
without the original books of the Bible, we would never see this. We just reading the Bible and seeing devil and Satan and Lucifer and dragon, and we think it's all just one day, one time. No, this is over a period of time.
Yes.
Should we continue?
Yes,
Yes.
Remember, 16 species of reptilians, 16 species, 16 demon reptilians. Then you got some grays that are, that's a whole other bag of stuff, 70 of them. So the devil got many shapes and forms and behaviors.
Yeah.
Some of the Satana who want to dominate you.
Yes.
The end of this book on page 72 talks about Apophis, also known as the destroyer from the dragon constellation, who spreads what?
Disorder and disease.
Disorder and disease. So let's not forget Apophis now. Let's not leave him out of it.
That's such another verse with Humbaba was 19. I don't know if you did you have that one?
No, not yet. I'm just
Okay.
write it down. I'm coming. I heard a brother say it. I'm going to ask him and you in a minute. So let's go. And again, this is not in order because I'll do a class, a series on this. So this here, we're talking about what? Who spreads disease and disorder? Who's that? Apophis. Who's Apophis's other name?
Apep.
We call him Apep, or Zuen, or Zeus. Yes?
Yes.
So he's him and his people are here. Their job is disorder, mischief, bloodshed, wars. And their children, you can tell, because that's all they always engaged in, is some kind of war. Are y'all still with us? Are we writing this down? Because I want to hear these in your classes. I'm tired of them. Y'all killing me. I want to start moving with this information. Y'all doing well, some of you. And some of you is running from the scriptures. I don't hear no quotes. I heard Umi dropping quotes the other day. I heard Sister Shan dropping quotes the other day. So I said, there you go. I had to smile. I said, there you go. As long as I'm hearing the quotes. And he's a leader of the humanoid dragon group. Okay, so there's a group that are dragons internally, but they look humanoid, called Scythians or Satanists. Okay, who represented the powers of dissolution, ignorance, and non-being, thus forcing those they encountered and infected into non-existence, simply causing humanity to lose yourself to your what?
Emotions.
Or get caught up
Emotionally.
That's when we say Apophis, this is what they do. This group of humanoid reptilians, they make us lose our damn mind. They dissolve your culture and make Black people, melanin people, think that to give up your indigenous South American and Native American and African culture to become Canaanite is a blessing. They trick us out of our glory.
Yes.
So when you find yourself saying, well, it's not really important. I mean, we don't have to really dress like that anymore. We don't really need the nose ring. I mean, why we got to wear a kufa? When you hear that conversation, just look and be like, there she is, Miss Apophis. There he is. When you see people who always want to have long, emotional conversations that ain't going to end up nowhere, warn them that they're leaning towards Apophis. They make us lose our way and overheat and get destroyed. I hope I ain't lose no friends tonight. And if I did, oh well, you'll be all right. And so that spell that they cast, so far we just looking at some spells, and I'm going to stop and ask Umi to continue with her question. But these are different spells. Each of these is, but now, unfortunately, because we're at the end of ages, all of them are now at play simultaneously. So we're
Mhm.
trying to combat. See, there was a point where you only had to worry about blood and sex. Okay, be mindful of that. Man, they got it all going on now.
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody, they're busy. They're busy. They're busy. They're busy. Now, Humbaba, before we come off page, what you say?
69, verse 19.
69.
Verse 19.
19.
And this is in the book of who? Story of
So
Lucifer.
Lucifer.
And this is Humbaba is mentioned in the Cushite Babylonian text. Verse 19, this, of course, you should understand, was not the first war between the forces of agreeableness versus the forces of disagreeableness, but instead was one of countless battles which have occurred throughout many generations and many worlds in our attempt to purge the universe of the influences of these wicked beings. This has happened many times. The only difference between what's happening now and everywhere else was there's never been a point where you worshipped your enslaver. That's a first.
Okay.
And we're worried because if that catches on elsewhere, we're in trouble. It's never been where an enslaved entity, species, people worshipped their enslaver. Like literally looked up to the way melanated people have. This is a first. That's why it says that there was silence in the heavens. We're like, are they worship? What the? Oh my goodness. Who infect many worlds which they encounter with their diseased thinking. Okay. Oh, that's another thing now. Now this Humbaba guy, what's he bringing in?
Disease
thinking.
Disease thinking. Now they all share the titles. So Humbaba can use the title Zuen, and Zuen can use the title Humbaba. But we need to understand the scriptures that mention them. So he's bringing in what we say?
Disease thinking.
Diseased thinking. Anything else? Let's go. Should we go back and look?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's diseased thinking? What does that mean? I don't know, Basesh. Let's look it up. Cool.
I don't know. Yes. Let's read it out, please.
You got to participate or your brain
Yes,
won't
sir.
grab it. If you don't say something, you won't have your brain works like a holographic computer. It needs points of reference. So every time you participate, your brain can remember. If you sit in silence, your brain will not grab it. Disease thinking. Thought disorders encompass a range of thought and language difficulties and include poverty of ideas, perverted logic, illogical or delusional thoughts, word salad. What the hell is that? I'm kind of afraid, but I got to look it up. Delusions, derailment, pressured speech, poverty of speech, tangentility, verbigeration. Oh, we're going to look these up. I don't know about y'all, but I want to know. Anybody else want to know? Anybody else crazy?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Basesh. A word
Elijah Muhammad talked
salad
about
is a collection
technology.
of words or phrases.
Word salad. What is word salad?
Mine says that is a collection of words or phrases that are strung together in a seemingly random or nonsensical way, lacking logical connection and grammatical structure.
Mm-hmm.
It is often associated with certain mental health conditions, particularly schizophrenia and other forms of psychosis.
Mm-hmm. Elijah Muhammad called it tricknology. Random words, confused or unintelligible. Let's get some examples so we can understand. Sociopath, a psychopath. The cat jumped over the moon, but the dog is a purple elephant singing happily. So all that stuff they're teaching us as children. Hickory dickory dock. The mouse ran up the clock. Hickory dickory dock. That's a word salad to make you crazy. Cows jumping over moons. Word salad to give you schizophrenia. Give me some other ones we all have learned.
Three-letter lines.
No, that's one, but no, there's another one.
Intuition spider.
Abracadabra. Word salad. All of these again are words. Now we're learning something. Teaching church, we're all learning together. All right. Pressured speech. What's that one? What's derailment? See, derailment. Thought derailment, also known as cognitive derailment or loosening of associations, is a symptom characterized by difficulty maintaining a coherent or logical train of thought. How many of us be saying, man, sometimes I just can't, I be trying to like focus, but it's somebody did something to us. Often resulting in speech that jumps. So sometimes the person's talking and they just jump to something. You're like, yo, how do we get over here? And then they jump to something else and it never gets back to what you were. That's why I'm very meticulous about say it the way I said it. Jumps from one unrelated topic to another. It's a key feature of thought disorders, particularly in conditions like schizophrenia, but it's triggered by word salad. Oh boy, pressured speech. I pray y'all writing this down because this is what they're functioning as. This is what they're functioning. This is what they're doing. Pressured speech. It's a speech pattern characterized by rapid, intense, and often incoherent speech. So when y'all start reading and speaking too fast, I say, whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down.
Would that be an example of their version of speaking in tongues?
Well, yeah. You hit that nail so hard, I know Jesus felt it. Sometimes accompanied by loudness and a feeling, I'm sorry, I don't know where that came from, by loudness and a feeling of urgency. So when a person is angry with you and y'all arguing and they just start having it, and you're like, and you're trying to talk, like, oh, pressured speech. It's a symptom of various mental health conditions. They made us crazy. Most notably bipolar disorder, which Lucifer suffered from. All in all, polarized. Individuals experiencing pressured speech may find it difficulty to stop talking, and others may find it hard to interrupt or follow the conversation. We got work to do, y'all.
Yes, we do.
Are y'all with us?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. What else did they have? Poverty of speech. Oh boy. So there's some thought disorders that we try. So when we say, that's why people say, I thought about it. Don't think. Please don't think. Please.
Yeah.
No, don't think. Don't think. Not yet. Because you alogia, also known as poverty of speech, is a symptom characterized by a reduction in the amount and or content of speech, often seen in conditions like schizophrenia. It's not just about being quiet. Oh, I want the quiet sister. All right. Oh, I want the quiet brother. Okay. I ain't saying don't be quiet, but it involves a difficulty in expressing thoughts and feelings through language. You know, I just don't know what I really want to say. Okay, let's take a deep breath. Dr. Ford, can you help with this person on the, and we got to help each other because this racism, white supremacy has done something to us.
Yes.
So we can't express ourselves calmly. We always feel under attack. Through language leading to brief, vague, or repetitive responses. Oh boy. Tangentiality. Oh, this is going to be a nice one. Gentility. Once I hear gentility, I'm already going, this is going to be a good one. Gentility is a communication disorder in which the train of thought of the speaker wanders and shows a lack of focus, never returning to the initial topic of the conversation. Black people suffer from this. You be talking, that's why I don't talk to people who ain't adults in their thinking, because they want to argue with you. Okay, all right, you got that. But what about this? And they never even say you got that. They just shift.
Yeah.
We've all suffered from this at some point in our lives. Verberation. Verberation. Okay, got it. Verberation is a psychiatric term describing the continuous and often meaningless repetition of words or phrases. It's characterized by a lack of logical connection between repeated words, and the repetition can be spontaneous or triggered by external stimuli like questions. It's often associated with certain mental disorders and can be a symptom of catatonia, to make a person in a catatonic state. And then thought blocking. Ooh, I ain't talking to nobody tomorrow. I might mess up and stutter. If I says it. Thought blocking is a sudden interruption of a train of thought, causing an individual to stop speaking mid-sentence, often without explanation, and potentially shifting to a different unrelated topic. You know, White Daddy be doing this a lot, and can manifest as a blank mind or a flood of, and the other daddy before him did it too, or a flood of racing thoughts that prevent clear articulation. While it can be a normal experience due to factors like tiredness or stress, thought blocking can also be a symptom of severe mental health conditions like schizophrenia. Somebody's doing something to Black folk. What's his name?
Hey,
What are we talking about?
Humbaba.
Humbaba. Thank you, Umi.
Humbaba.
Disease thinking. So now we know what the disease thinking is, do we? Okay,
Yes.
I'm going to grab all of them. I'm going to grab all the disease thinking. I'm going to drop them in there with Humbaba. So that way, because in your notes, if you're writing it down, which you should be, I know y'all like to take pictures, but it won't give you a point of involvement in the conversation. When you write it, you have involvement in the conversation. So this disease thinking, when I wrote disease thinking, I know people thought, what do you mean disease thinking? Now you know what he meant by disease thinking. These are the thought disorders. Do y'all see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Is it clear?
Yes.
All right, let's go back. And then Umi, I'm going to ask you to continue. We're going to go back. Disease thinking. Got it now. The first war instead took place in Ilium, where one of Balus's genetic relatives from billions of years prior, the first Zuan, which we as angelic hosts encountered, known as Humbaba or Huawa, the father of the serpent race. They also call him Anak. His wife's name's Anak. And fire-breathing serpent, fire-breathing, not literal fire, but consuming, words that consume people, a bringer of strife, respectively, that did abuse our willingness, which seems to be always wanting to overthrow, which is a genetic trait found among both them and their seed throughout all generations. Do y'all understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So, and we can keep going, but I'm going to stop now and ask Umi, please continue with your question. Sister Leah, I'm not sure if you understood or not. You have to type yes, no, or maybe. So, Umi, go ahead, please.
Okay. When you mentioned that some of them were albinos, so that means they were basically 6 ether beings?
They were 6, 5, 4 ether beings, yes, strains. And then bred a 3 ether humanoid, which we call the 11 plus 1 clan sons of Canaan.
Okay. And when you do the series, you probably tell us how to break the spell.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, let me say, you can ask it. That's okay. You don't have to wait to the series. This is your.
Well, I mean, during this particular class, you mentioned to break a spell. You say, give me the power to, but I didn't have the continuation of that.
To break a spell, we must cast a spell.
Okay.
Spells are only broken by someone countering it with a more powerful spell. So if this spell, right, because the one that we're dealing with today, let me put that on the list. Thank you, Umi. Let's add this spell to dispel this spell. The spell of canon, or the spell of racism, the system of racism, white supremacy, which is perpetuated through Rahowa, racial holy war, done by the 11 plus 1 clan sons of Canaan. What is their spell focused on? If it's racism, white supremacy, what does racism, white supremacy focus on as far as melanated people?
Control of mind and body.
Bleaching.
By doing what? Because according to the book of Revelations, they want us to do something. In the 13th chapter,
Worship the
they
image
want
and likeness of the
Take
beast.
on the image.
worship the image
Image
and
and
likeness of the beast.
Galatians 13.
And when you and I worship the image and likeness of the beast, it means we are suffering from what?
self-hatred.
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 Self-hatred. Self-hatred. Oh, these 11 plus 1 clan sons of Canaan, they have gotten this spell of self-hatred. Black people, we are suffering from a spell of self-hatred that utilizes all of these. What do I mean utilizes all of these? But such, is he making this up? Is he just going off the cuff? Let's see. Can we go to the better sheet, please? Can we go down to scroll 10, please? Can we go to the end of scroll 10 when it finished talking about the 11 plus 1 clan sons of Canaan, and then gives us these spirits that we got to overcome? So when we're doing a counter spell, or as Baba Neely Fuller called it for his contribution to the great silsila of the Atonist line, when he calls it a counter racist code, to counter their racist code, we must have a codified system also. So when we are seeking to overcome the spells that they have cast on us, the Hittite spirit is the spirit of fear. The Girgasite spirit is the spirit of fleshly, carnal desire. The Amorite spirit is the spirit of pride and racial superiority. The Canaanite spirit of the other tribes is man-pleasing, base, debauchery, prurient, animalistic, demonic pleasures. The Parasite spirit is the spirit of inferiority and worthlessness, denies your identity in the Kares body. The Hivite spirit in this world for this lifetime only, selfishness, inability to see eternal values, limited vision. And the Jebusite spirit is the spirit of oppression. So these 7 spirits are now dominating the melanin mind. So your spell called Atonism must cast or be cast in such a way that it unwinds the spirit of fear, makes you fearless, makes you balanced and no longer just chasing the flesh, gives you pride of your own superiority. See, the book of Ezekiel says what? They're going to look at you and say, behold, is this the man who did make the earth to tremble? Is this the man who did make the earth to tremble? Isaiah 14:16, can we go there, please, quickly? And then we're going to go to Ezekiel 28, Isaiah 14, the same, how art thou falling, O Lucifer, son of the dawn? Yes. And everything he says, then it says what? Isaiah 14, what?
16.
They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee. What does it mean, narrowly? Saga. Stare at you, glance sharply, peep. They're going to look at you. They're going to look at them. They're going to behold you and me. And now you and I, since Baba, Marcus, Mosiah, Garvey, the Baba, Elijah, Muhammad, Cheikh, Isa, Arturo Shamba, we don't look at the Canaanite with the same look once we start waking up. We look at them narrowly. We like,
That's right.
But before that, we was looking at them like, I wish I could. And consider thee, saying, is this the man, him, that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? This beast, this the person we're afraid of? This the man that had us wanting to lay with him and her? This leprous dog, no butt having. See, now if I say that, I'm being racist. No, I'm describing him. I didn't say no butt and he got a butt. No butt having, low waisted, pink, uncooked sausage skin. Oh, Basesh, you sound like you hate. No, I think if I was wearing blonde hair and blue contacts, I would sound like I hate, because that's the vision of self-hate. I sound like I love self and kind.
That's
Yes,
right.
amen. That's right.
Yes.
Is this the man? Ezekiel 28 tells us what about him? He says that he's the, see, yet you are a man. You said, I am God. Ezekiel 28:2. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas, yet you are a man and you're not God. I'm sorry. We ain't worshiping you no more. You can. I don't want your Jesus. I don't want your Muhammad Musallim. I want none of that. You give us our Ahmad Mahmoud in Ethiopia. Give
That's
us our
right.
Yeshua Kodesh. Give us back. We just want what we want. We want us. I ain't saying you can't have yours.
Amen. That's right, Basesh.
We're not saying you can't have yours. I'm saying I want those of us like me. We want ours. And I hope y'all writing this down, because some of y'all still ain't wrote it down yet. You're late to the party.
Yes.
Racism, white supremacy, worship the image and likeness of the beast. So those 7 spirits, our spell called atonism, the Nazarite doctrine, which is the same as Sheikh Isa, which is the same as Elijah Muhammad, which is the same as Noble Drew Ali, which is the same as Amy Jacques Garvey and Marcus Bozai. It's one silsila, one line, one unbroken chain from master to student, and student to become master to send to student. Unbroken. And we are using it to cast a counter spell. You told me that flat butt was pretty. We're going to cast a spell that flat butt is ugly.
Right.
Brothers who used to look at the white butt, now we used to be like, now we like this. We've counted that racist code.
That's right.
Yes.
Sisters, you used to have your wigs. I can't even do it because you used to have your wigs and your little blonde wigs, your little bone straight wigs, and nobody want to look at the camera now. Everybody looking away. You used to have the best wigs on this side of the Mississippi. Huh? I used to spend all this money on your wig. Be sitting there brushing your wig, trimming it, and checking it. See, I had sisters, so I know what it looks like. Now, if I threw a wig at you, you run. We've counted that racist code. Oh, we used to pray to white Jesus. Now you're like, when you was in Pale Arab Emirate influenced Islam, oh, he was a takbir. Now you're like takbir, you be like, because you know that's a different spirit. That's not Ahmad Mahmoud's doctrine. That's countering. But it's a spell. And that's why people will tell you, oh, you got to be careful talking to them. They're a cult. They're gonna brainwash you. Thank you. We're going to brainwash you. We're going to take your brain and put it in the wash cycle and get out all that self-hate. I'm over here like, oh, I can't get the damn self-hate out of this thing. I'm putting Clorox to get the self-hate. I'm putting all type of all and error and Tide. I got Tide little capsules. We got so much soap in the machine. We like, man, it's nothing but suds. Trying to get out. Yes, I am here, like all of my great predecessors and BBs and Bobbers, trying to brainwash you, trying to wash your brain of all the lies and filth and self-hate and misinformation and wrong chronology and wrong history and wrong math and wrong lies. Yes, we are casting a spell to dispel the spell of self-hate. You can't dispel self-hate nicely.
That's
you
right.
got to take it on. You got to address it. We're going after the fake gods, the false Christ. Any fake doctrine that's talking to our people, we're going to have to clean it up.
Yes.
They're going to be mad.
Exactly.
Nobody likes the dentist when he's pulling out the teeth. But I'm going to climb all up in your mouth. You know, stay still. We getting this thing out today.
That's right.
And I need
Amen.
y'all
Come
to
on,
help do it.
Basesh. That's right.
Yes, sir.
Y'all understand? Umi, are you still with